Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Wise Words of the Day with myself, Dr. Cheryl Chapman, and with
the illuminated. I'm illuminated by you, Cheryl. The illuminated Dr. Marion Bevington here at your service.
So good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Oh, we have Shishir on the line. Hello, Shishir. Hope you are well. I believe you might have a speaking engagement too. I hope that's going to go amazingly. I'm sure it will do. So good evening and welcome. We are here today to answer the wise questions that have been raised either by the wise women in the Live, Love, Laugh Lounge or the wise men in the Man Cave, both of whom are part of the Find Your Why Foundation. And so the question for today, do we need a drum roll from the angels coming through Marion's window, is... Everyone knows, actually, because we already advertised it. The question of the day is, well, how do you find your why? And I say it like that because it's kind of like, well, you keep talking about your why, so how the hell do you find one? We talked about yesterday, didn't we, why having a why is important. Yeah. So how do you find your why, Marion? How do you find your why?
You go digging deep. Digging very, very deep. Well, I mean, the first thing that we know about this is that there are two parts to your why, because there is the first part, which is why are you where you are in your life right now? What's brought you here? What are the ingredients that have got you to this specific point in time in your life? Because all of that is really valuable information. And then the second part of the why is what is your why, your purpose, your reason for being here? What is the thing that motivates you? What's the thing that lights you up? So there are those two key parts. But unless you've done the first one, then actually it makes the second part much more difficult, because without looking back and seeing what are the key milestones, the key ideas, the key references in your life that have really lit you up, then how do you really know why you're here? Because I think that when you know your why, you realize that your why is what makes you go on fire. When you go on fire with passion and you've got lots of energy and you're really motivated, it's because it's something to do with your why. That's what I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And it's interesting, isn't it? Like the last couple of days, I've been on fire, if you say. And Mr. C has just come back today. So Mr. C lives in the Middle East, if anybody doesn't know. He has actually come back via Belgium. He's been at one of these, hard rock, whatever they're called, festivals. Bless him. Got to be honest, looking a little bit worse for wear. I'm not quite sure if his body realises that he's supposed to be 57, for example. But anyway, so he's just come up. So for the last couple of days, I've, obviously been trying to do, a few things so I can clear the diary a little bit, spend some time with him. Otherwise, we don't have a marriage; we just have an acquaintance over Skype. And I consciously, set the intention this weekend that I would do X, Y, and Z, if you like. And then, but while I was doing that, I was just like, oh my gosh, I just feel like I'm on fire. Everything's flowing. It's just really happening. Didn't fit. None of the work that I was doing was work, really. Felt like it was just flow, which was great. And then I think about, if I go back a few years, oh gosh, 6 years ago, life was just an absolute drain, like really slow and sluggish and, just felt like that. There was definitely the thank God it's Friday, kind of mentality going on. And for those of you who know my story, well, most of the time, if I wasn't at work, I was drinking. So that was helping numb the pain, if you like. And you're right, because if you don't have a why, then you end up, we've said this a number of times this week, end up living somebody else's why. But also it just feels like it's hard work, right? So so your why is really important. And I don't know, if the lovely Shishir's on the call here, if he wants to make a comment as well, look, you're on fire when you're doing your speaking. So, there's a difference, isn't there? I don't know what you used to do before, but you'll know the difference. Share with us how you feel when you know that you found your why and you know that you're living for a purpose. So there's the two areas, why are you where you are right now? Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like you are on fire, or do you feel it's sluggish? If you feel it's sluggish, then you need to find your why, because you clearly are not living your purpose at this moment in time. And so if you are feeling a bit sluggish and you'd like to find your why, or maybe you'd just like to check your why, make sure that you are on the right path, then how do we do it? So Marion, how do we do it? Let's help the lovely people.
Well, one of the things that is lovely, that what you were just saying about when people are feeling sluggish or when it feels like hard words, there's sort of the hip and trendy way to talk about that is resistance, isn't it? When do you feel like you're in resistance? It's like when do you feel like you're pushing against the tide? When does life feel like hard work? And so obviously that's a real key indicator as to what's right for you right now. Because when you're doing what's right for you right now, you actually feel in flow, you feel lighter, you've got more energy. So all of this lovely energetic framework, if you like, of being in your why is that feeling place of, and you know me, I'm all about the feelings, is in being in that feeling place where there is no resistance, where life just seems to flow. The universe or life or whatever it is you believe in just seems to bring into your path all of the things that are needed to take you on the journey that you're heading on. Whereas when you're in resistance, you feel like you're really trying to run up a hill, or you feel like you're really struggling. Things don't give you energy, they zap you of energy. Or people don't give you energy, they zap you of energy. So I think a real key indicator is to start to notice when something feels heavy or when it feels light, when something feels easy or when it feels difficult, when you feel like you're struggling or you feel like you're in the slipstream, and you're in flow. So definitely that's a key thing. And that's what we talk about, don't we, with the aim to find your why, or aim for happiness, if happiness is your goal. The A is about awareness, and so noticing how stuff feels or how you feel when you think about something or you think about somebody or you're doing something or you're with somebody. Then that awareness of your state, your inner feelings, that's massive. That's a really, really important aspect of how you can find your why, or how you can confirm it if you think you already know it.
Yeah. Lovely Miranda joined us. I love it. When, you can tell when I've worked with people or we attract the same type of people to the sector. So Miranda's put, AKA shovel and shit up a hill in shite shoes. Yeah, it feels like you're on a treadmill bloody running backwards, doesn't it? Like all you keep doing is going backwards when you're not on the right place. Yeah. Thank you, Miranda. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, so it is about awareness, and you're right. That's exactly the first part that we're talking. But here's the thing: when you look back, or if you're in a place now where you know your why, then you can look back and go, "Oh my gosh, like that's just what it was like." But if you're not quite there, and maybe you think you know your why, but you're not 100% sure, you don't always notice these things. I mean, 5-6 years ago, I've got to be honest with you, I'd have not had a clue whether or not I was in a good or bad place, because actually I was in a bad place, but I had nothing to compare it to. So all I knew was I was just in a place, and it was called life, and this is the way that it happened, and this is all you get, kind of thing, So it's really interesting to say that someone needs to become aware or have awareness of where they are right now. It really is taking time out and really just sitting, very, I'm going to say very still. It makes it sound like I'm doing make sure you don't move, but just in a still place, a quiet place, and really contemplate and look at your life, being really honest. Because, of course, this is what we get a lot, don't we, when we do our retreats or our Wise Women Days. What was it that someone said at one of the retreats?
We were doing one of the exercises it's called the compass clarification process, and it clarifies which aspect of your compass, because you're the whole of the world, which aspect of your compass needs your attention. So bringing your awareness to that aspect of where you are right now and which bits of your life need attention. And so we just get people to score the different aspects of their life. And one of our beautiful wise women who was on a retreat with us, and it was the first time she'd done this exercise. And I know this feeling. And there she was, ticking the boxes, giving it numbers. 10 out of 10 is fabulous. 0 out of 10 is absolutely shy. Can't wait to get away from it. And so she's there scoring her numbers, and all of her numbers were well towards the 10. And I think she might have had a little sneaky peek around her and noticed that a few other people were doing the same thing. She instantly got a recognition. She instantly became aware that what she was doing, she was writing down the numbers that she thought other people might be impressed by. She said, I've got to be honest, I've just absolutely fucking lied about every single number that I've just written down. and I've way scored them higher than I should have, because it was like being at school in a test, isn't it? You're going to cheat so you can get 100%, and that's what she was trying to do.
But that was great because she had the awareness, didn't she? Like you said, that she was cheating herself. I mean, you know,
Exactly.
I always laugh about things in classrooms because they say, you know, oh, don't cheat. We've talked about this before. God, no, copy the person next to you, because the person next to you, if they know the answers, that's the way to go, right? I've got to tell you this. My husband wants an R8, an Audi R8. For me, that's who he wants it for. Of course. Yes, of course. Just for me. And I'm like, I don't really use a car that much. I've got my little Mini, you know, it's very nice. I like bombing about in it. I don't really do long journeys. And I've just got visions of me strolling up to Asda in this car that I won't dare to park because my reverse is not very good. But anyway, so the other day, I actually saw an R8 in the village. Like, you know that saying, there's only one gay in the village. Well, this is only one R8 in our village. And I'm sure they were passing through. I don't think they actually lived here. And I remember looking and thinking, oh, my gosh, I wonder what he does for a living. Whereas before, 5 or 6 years ago, I'd have been like, oh, my gosh, and being all, like, oh, he's a young lad, must be a drug pusher, something like that. I'd have had some kind of, witness thing going on in my head. But now I was like, oh, that's really interesting because my opinion had changed. Do you know what I mean? So, you just don't sometimes even know what's going on, do you? But when you start to recognize these things, you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, I can see now. That is me. That's a belief I've got. That's why, whatever it might be. So that's really interesting. Who have we got joining us? We've got Elizabeth. Elizabeth saying, loving the light, Marion. Yeah, it's fading a little bit. We're looking fabulous.
Oh, it's back again.
Oh, no, it's back again. Yeah. She's shining in the rainbow. So my question to you, if you're listening now, and if you've never listened to us before, you probably think we're mad as a box of frogs, but we do jump about a little bit. But we are talking about how to find your why. And your why is, it comes in two guises for us. The why is, why are you where you are right now? What serves you. It doesn't always have to be negative. That's what a lot of people say. Oh, this isn't right, and this is what's holding you back. And yes, of course, there are areas that hold you back in your life. But there are also some things that really do serve you, that got you to where you are. So it doesn't have to always be negative. And then, of course, the second part of the why is your purpose, your mission, the reason why, if you like, you want to be all dramatic, why you were put on the earth. Because a lot of people, and we know this when we were stuck, well, Marion was stuck a long, long time ago, but mine's only been more quite recently, 4 or 5 years ago. I just thought I was here to, this is where we get really gross, eat shit and die. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just thought, just thought you just go through the motions, do what people think you should do and crack on with it and try and make everybody happy and try to make the most out of, what is just an existence, really. But, oh, my gosh, how wrong was I? Because when you find your why, I'm talking like Les Brown now. There's a bit of sunshine, so it does make you giddy. But when you find your why, you find your passion, you find your purpose, and you just find something that can really fulfill you up. And so we've talked about the first part of finding your why is awareness. And then the next part, Miranda, do you want to join in, love? Marion, what's the next part of finding your why? The
next part of finding your why. So once you've become aware of why you are where you are right now, and you start to gain some clarity on what your purpose is, what's your reason for being here, then you can start to set intentions. And an intention. People do lots of goal setting, but actually a goal needs an intention. Otherwise, it's got no life in it, it's got no wings, it's got no energy, if you like, because the intention is the thing that fuels every goal that we attempt to achieve or that we do achieve. And the intention is this whole bigger idea of who is it I am here to be and what is it I am here to do. So exactly that. Why am I here on this planet? Is it to just eat shit and die? And is that you need to be good with your punctuation there, don't you? Or that's quite a disgusting meal. You just eat once some shit and then you die, or you eat every day and you shit every day and then you die. The grammar police are out, and so understanding what your why, your bigger why is, your purpose, your reason for being here. Once you understand that, then you can really set some clear intentions around what you will be when you are achieving what you want to from now. Because one of the things that we also notice is that you set a goal for something that you want to achieve in the future. Well, when you get there and you've achieved that goal, what next? So this is where the intention is really useful, because it shows you that the goals are just milestones along this path. So you're through the journey of life, you go through these goals, but your intention is to have this completely fulfilled life. So once you've started to understand your why, you can begin to really be clear with your intention. And this is the bit that's really useful for so many people, because this is the bit where you learn how to say no to people who are on your path.
And you don't feel guilty. You don't feel guilty when you say no, because you go, oh, do I want to do that? And then you consider it, and then you say, actually, no, it's not in keeping with my why, so that's a no from me.
And you can celebrate no's then, can't you? You don't have to feel guilty. You don't have to worry about them. You don't have to stress about them. You can actually celebrate the opportunity to say no, because what that no is doing is it's giving you even more clarity, and it's creating an intention that's even stronger. So the why gets even more powerful, and it sucks you in.
Yeah. I tell you what it reminds me of, and I've only just thought about this. It reminds me of, because obviously I don't drink anymore. I haven't done for 3 years. I think I might have had a shandy once with a bit of beer in it. Does that count? And I do say, I'd never said I don't eat alcohol. So I will have a little flambe on me, on my curry when I go to the local Indian. But obviously I'm not drinking like I used to. So I've been sober for 3 years now, and now when people say to me, "Oh, do you want some champagne, wine, beer, cider, whatever it is, wherever I am and whoever I'm with," and I just go, "No, thank you, I don't," because it's not in keeping with who I am anymore. Does that make sense? Whereas before I used to struggle to say no. I mean, literally used to struggle to even say the words verbally on some occasions, and now it's just so clear. It's so much clarity. It really does help. Miranda's saying, well, she was laughing at us before, and she loves this. Who else? We've got the lovely Teresa joining us. Hello, Teresa, darling. How are you? And Elizabeth is still with us, and Miranda and Shashir. So thank you for joining in. Have you ever? Where do you think you are at the minute? Do you think you've got your why polished? That's the question that you might want to ask yourself. How do you feel about life at the minute? Do you feel like you're pushing things uphill? Or do you think that, it's like you've been doing a bit of pushing and now you're getting to a nice place? Just have a think about, share with us if you want to, whereabouts you are. So we've got our intention much more than a goal, as Marion says. And all I hear when I talk about you and your whys, I just hear juicy joy, you see. That's what goes on in my head when I hear it. Who have we got joining as well? We've got Mavezi Jackson. Hello, Mavezi Jackson. Thank you for joining us tonight as well. So we're just talking about, how do you find your why? If you've been following us on these daily questions, we get a question asked from the wise women in the Live Love Laugh Lounge, or because sometimes they ask the same questions, the wise men in the man cave. And so today we are actually asking the question, how do you find your why? Because we have already told you why you need your why, and that's what we're just looking at the moment. We've talked about the fact that you need to have awareness of who you are, where you are, what serves you, what doesn't serve you, and also awareness of what you want your why to be through setting an intention. And of course, there's the third bit, because we call this the aim to find your why, AIM. What's the final bit, Mazzy B?
Awareness, intention, and move your arse. Or the posh version is
manifest.
So manifesting is all about making it happen. And this comes in two parts as well, because there's the actions that you take that actually produce something or create a connection or will manifest in some part of your journey that you do.
Oh, we've lost her for some reason. Let's see if we can get her back.
Did you do?
Oh, you're back. You're back now. Did you see that? Did you hear that, people? What did you do? Did you
I
notice?
haven't touched anything.
What did I do? It was the
You in
universe throwing you a bit of shit.
I love your spelling.
We are back. Where's my spelling? Manifest.
Grammar police are in the house.
Why? Oh, they are, aren't they? Well, that's terrible, isn't it?
You should have cheated your English homework.
No, I'll tell you what I should have done is I should have put my glasses on. Anyway, go on before we so rudely interrupt you.
So yeah, move your ass or manifest is in two parts, because one part is about you moving your ass, but the other part is actually that when you do set really strong intentions, when you really put it out there and you're clear so that you're able to say no when you don't want something and you're able to say absolutely yes when it's on your path, then that's when the universe conspires and it just brings things. And you think the synchronicities, they're coincidences, you can call them what you like. Many people have many different names for them, but there's something behind being really, really clear that makes this sort of stuff show up much more quickly. So there's two bits to manifest. There's the physical, human, material manifestation of actually making things happen. But there's also this spiritual manifestation where miracles just seem to appear.
Yeah, it is. It is. I've got to, because we've got a lovely wise woman called Judith Wright. If she's, I don't think she's on the call today, but she may listen to this recording. So I've changed it for you now. You're all right, grammar police. So it's manifest, of course. Aka, move your ass.
No, but now we're on to the pronunciation police.
I know, yeah. So Judith was doing a presentation, we were watching her, and she kept saying, Aka this and Aka that. I was thinking, who the hell's Aka? And then we realised she meant AKA. So we talked to her about it, didn't we? And she said, oh, I do that all the time. She said, it's like people will talk about URLs and I just call them URLs. Yeah, so let's have a look at what we were talking about in terms of intention before. So Miranda says she's enjoying the journey. That's fabulous. And then we've got Teresa who's saying intention to help parents become really in tune with their children so they grow together, related to Susie's post about reward for what we do. So Susie's one of our lovely wise ladies. The manifest is the challenge currently. Okay, well, you know, for me, and it's exactly what Marion's just said there, it is Aka, move your ass. Because, look, you can feel stuck. You can feel like it is a little bit uphill, even though you know you're on the right path. Of course, it doesn't, you know, everything doesn't flow necessarily, you know, like straight away. It's almost like, you know, you're coming to the brow of the hill, you know, you've been pushing a bit of a rock up there. You know that this is what you want to do. You know you're on the right path. And now you're getting the other side and it's all going to start to flow, right? But there's still some days where it feels a little bit tough. You know, like you're like, am I on the right path? And I did a little video, you know, for the lovely ladies in the Wise Women Live, Love, Laugh Lounge today. You know, the times when you say to yourself, oh, this isn't working, I'm going to give up on this. But do you know what? There's something that keeps you going. When you know your why and you know you're on the right path, there's something that just goes, do you know what? I think it's just around the corner here. And you just have a feeling. 70% of you will have a gut instinct that you are close to it. You know, probably 20% of you will have an intuition, and knowing that, you know, you don't know how, but you just know you are on the right path. So you'll go through that as well, and you'll keep pushing, and then it does start to happen. You know, I often talk. I didn't get up in November 2011 to go see Bob Proctor, thinking I would become a public speaker that day. But once I started to move into the direction of that, and you know, what we do within the Find Your Why Foundation, we have a program called Aim to Find Your Why. And when we help you through this process of awareness, intention, and manifest, we created a number of systems. And one of them is to look back in your life, and your why is always there. And when I look back in my life, it really was, you know, it's all about me standing up, speaking out for other people, trying to make them happy. Do you know what I mean? So at the same point in time as sometimes it was a little bit difficult. Once I started to do that, I started to get speaking gigs, you know, I started to speak across the world, you know, people started to listen to me. And there were times, honestly, when I had a dry mouth, where I couldn't remember my name, let alone what I was supposed to say, that I wanted to give up. But I just had an inkling it was the right place to go. And I'm sure you had exactly the same, didn't you, Maz?
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that's really important to understand, and again, it's part of what we do, it's a really big part of the work that we do, is that when you are on the right path and it feels tough, The reason it's feeling tough is because you've got limiting beliefs, or you've got old beliefs, old ideas. You've got programs that are getting in the way. And one of the parts of the work that I love that I do is the deprogramming, people deprogramming. I used to program computers. Now I deprogram people, because the programs that don't serve you, it's those that make you feel like it's hard work. Because when those programs are out of the way, because that's what I think Teresa's talking about as well, because Susie was saying, how is it that we start to sometimes, when we tell people how much we charge, we begin to qualify and justify? Why can we not just, if you walk into a shop and you say a pint of milk, actually I did it the other day and he said 75 pence. I said, oh, you can keep it. It's only 50p round the corner. But I knew the price. And I was prepared to pay the 50p, because the 50p, the shop was open where it's 50p. But if somebody says, you don't walk, the guy in the newsagents isn't going to say, well, it's 75p, but I know the guy around the corner selling it for 50, so you can have it for 49. Because that's basically what a lot of people who are self-employed and selling their own services, we talked about it, didn't we, about why do I undervalue myself? We've done one on that. And this is really, really crucial to understand, that it's these programs, it's these old thoughts, old habits and old beliefs, that they're not your truth, but they are involved in the show at the moment. They're parts of the program that you're running right now. And so when you hit against something that makes you feel stuck, you can guarantee there's going to be a limiting belief in there that's actually blocking you from realizing that this really is on the path. I mean, there is hard work, and you do have to do hard work, and that's with the manifest and the move your arse. It is hard, but as Cheryl said, it doesn't feel like hard work when you've got those limiting beliefs and those blocks out of the way. You can just keep enjoying every part of the process, every step of the process. So yeah, if it is definitely in the right direction for you and it's feeling tough, then again, finding that, having an awareness of what is it that's blocking me now? Because I know I'm moving in the right direction, but there is something here right now that doesn't feel right. And once you can identify that, once you can become aware of it, and then you know what to do with it. And another part of awareness is having a toolkit that helps you to find the support that you need. It might be a process you can do by yourself, or it might be a process you can do with somebody else. But knowing that there is a massive toolkit available to you through the Find Your Why Foundation. And our toolkit is proven fabulous.
Proven fabulous. It's freaking awesome. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anyone's seen the little video that we did from one of the Wise Discovery days last week before. Really lovely. It's had a lot of really nice comments, and that's just because of the people that are at the events that inspire us. And look, I've got a why at the minute, which is it's a global mission to guide 10 million people, 10 million disheartened souls from why, as in why me, to why not, as in why not me. But to get to that why not me, it is a challenge. And I'd say to Marion, she's right. It is not hard work. It will take up your time. It will take up your energy, but it's not hard work, because when I know every morning I can't get up and go, oh, I don't think I can be bothered today. Well, I mean, I can do, because I'm my own boss. Do you know what I mean? But then I have this little thing in the back of my mind that goes, but 10 million, and that's not us doing, just helping 10 million. That's all the lovely ladies that are on the call. You know what I mean? Miranda, who says she's definitely on the right path, and she's got a knowing about it, because she's she's not inadvertently, she is helping people herself. And she's part of the Live Love Laugh Lounge, but she's also got her own business. Same with Teresa. Teresa's going to, help so many wonderful people. It's all part of the global mission. It's not just, me and Marion turning into Wonder Woman and Superwoman and out like that. Do you know what I mean? Although we'll try his best to squeeze into those outfits sometime soon, maybe. Teresa's saying, I say to myself, stop getting in my own way. Exactly, yeah. And make it even more positive, Teresa. What can I do to carry on? Or what, how can I carry on being amazing? Make it even more, feel it.
And how can I clear the path? It's a really good point, actually. What you've done there, Teresa, is you've given us a really lovely example of how to make an intention even more powerful by stating it in the positive. So we've got, because we all have loads of things. We know what we don't want. You ask people to list what they don't want, they can write and write and write. But when you start to ask people to be very specific and say exactly what they do want, precisely what they want, without using any negatives, without using the word don't or not or can't or shouldn't, it's really hard. It's really, really hard, because we are in a society that spots the difference and doesn't want it. So it wants us all to be omadons, my mum used to call it. Omadons.
Oh, fabulous.
Like robots, but it's got an omo at the beginning, which means one, I think. I don't know. Someone with better linguistic skills could confirm. But yeah, omadons are basically robots. And that's what we are being programmed to be. And that's why we've got limiting beliefs, because we're stepping outside of the norm. We're stepping outside of the old paradigm, as good old Bob Proctor says. So yeah, it's really, really important that when you're looking at intention, which is the second part of finding your why, that you find out how to state it really clearly and in the positive. And that can be a tough job at the beginning. What?
Oh dear. Sorry, Dictionary Corner is unable to describe what omadom is. However, if you check out the Urban Dictionary meaning, you'll see why I'm laughing. Oh dear, I think I went to Urban Dictionary instead of the normal dictionary. Sorry. So if you want to laugh away from here, omadom. How did you spell it?
Omodon, I think.
Oh, I think I misspelled it.
I haven't spelled it.
Oh dear me, excuse me. Oh, that was quite funny. Sorry, where were we? I got slightly distracted. Yes, the omadom, but I spelled it with double A. It's something completely different.
Where did you put the double A? I want to know now.
Oh, hang on a minute. No, I spelled it Omadon.
Omadon.
Omadon. Anyway, so while Marion's finishing off, because we will be finishing it off quite soon, she'll start laughing in a minute. So Teresa's saying, what's Teresa saying? Let me just get back on track. Sorry, just a little sidetrack.
It's with an I, actually, and it's right. It's the Gaelic. So my mother wasn't as stupid as we thought she was. We actually always knew she was very clever. I like that. Yeah, nincompoop.
Nincompoop. Oh, fabulous. Is that what she said? Fabulous.
That's what it says here.
Teresa says, I'm blasting through despite myself. That's really funny. Claire Ellis is here. High five, Claire. High five, high five. We've just been talking about how to find your why. We've been talking about awareness, intention, and manifest. And I just had a little aside, being in Dictionary Corner, spelling something wrong and getting a completely wrong answer from what Marion was looking for. Oh dear, what we're like. Anyway, at least we know how to live, love, and laugh every day, which is the motto of our Live, Love, Laugh Lounge, of course. So let's just see who we've got on the call. Let's just say, so Jill's here. Hello, Jill. Teresa, of course, we've heard from Teresa and Miranda. Musvezi, we haven't heard from you, but welcome. And Elizabeth, we heard from Elizabeth, and she's here at the beginning, so welcome. So yeah, so how do you find your why? Your why is so important, guys. I mean, I can't, if you don't have the why, then you'll live someone else's. You'll just go through life like an omadom.
Yeah, omadom.
An omadom, not an omadon, which has got a completely different meaning. But for a laugh, you might want to look at both of those up. So tomorrow we will be back tomorrow evening with another wise question. If you've got a wise question that you would like us to answer, then please either pop it in the chat box here and let us know, or we will ask the lovely ladies and the men of the Man Cave and the Live, Love, Laugh Lounge. Jill Barham saying, hello ladies, I know my why, thanks to you too. Love you too, Jill. Thank you so much. And in the meantime, remember to live, love, laugh every day. It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from the sun. See you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.